What's happening, everybody? Welcome to the NBA show here at SBR. I'm Blackjack Fletcher. That beautiful guy over there, Junior, you know him. Junior, we're without our guy, J Money, today. He's in the middle of the winter storm from hell in Texas. The state has no power. He's trying to get to a computer. He's trying to find a way to get here, but I don't think it's going to be possible. The snow and the ice have crippled states in this country today. We just hope that Jay and everyone else in Texas stays safe.
Yeah, I want to make a couple jokes because being from up north, they'll survive. But yeah, no, hopefully Jay's safe. Hopefully he gets power back soon. And they can pull through a little snow down there in Texas, but I'm sure they'll be all right.
Yeah. I mean, I'm from up north too, and it's kind of funny when you see, like 2 or 3 inches of snow on the ground and people are going crazy like it's the end of the world. I mean, I saw a picture someone posted from Sam Houston Race Park in Texas. They're like, "This is unbelievable," and there was like a dusting on the track.
Yeah, listen, it's not the time to bash the great state of Texas. So hopefully, like I said, that they pull through it. Everyone is safe, especially our guy Jay Money. It's not the same doing the show without him, but the show must go on. So let's get to it whenever you're ready, Blackjack.
That's it. So we're going to do our best here in Jay's absence. He'll be back soon. And let's dive right into it, brother. We got some good games tonight on the slate. First up, Chicago Bulls visiting the Indiana Pacers here. Junior, the Pacers off a couple of wins in a row now, going against the Bulls. Bulls kind of an up and down team, as we've talked about on the show numerous times. Can you lay the 5.5, 6 with Indiana here? It feels like a lot to me to lay with the Pacers.
We agree about that for sure. I think if you like the Pacers, 5.5 was the number. 6 is the limit. I'm going to wait until closer to game time before I touch this game. I'm looking for a 6.5 with Chicago. If I can't get that, I'll probably be off this game because even though Indiana's the better team, Chicago is better at covering spreads. Chicago is one of the few teams that is above 500 when it comes to covering spreads. I shouldn't say few. It seems like basically there are more teams than not, below that 500 mark. Chicago actually is 14-11 ATS. So my lean is the Bulls for now.
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of with you that I would lean Chicago as well. I don't trust Indiana at this point to lay this number. I don't think that this team has done enough to show that they can really shut down a Bulls team who, when they're hot shooting, can make this a very close game. And listen, I'm not going to say the Bulls can't win this game. So for me, this game is a pass. The total is a pass, too, at 225. Again, kind of feels right where it should be here. So I don't have any play on this game. Let's move on to the second one here on our slate. We've got the Houston Rockets visiting the Washington Wizards. I mean, Junior, this game is kind of a mess right here, right? I mean, the Rockets blasted the Wizards the last time they were playing, but now you've got no Christian Wood, no Oladipo. You may not have Russell Westbrook because the Wizards just played last night. The Rockets, a team who after the Harden trade kind of looked good. They felt like they came together. They were playing good defense, have now dropped their last 5 games. What do you see in here with a line of Houston -1 on the road?
It's got to be Wizards or nothing, you would think, in this spot. Right? I think I don't want to get into the Russell Westbrook is an addition by subtraction, but in the case of the Wizards, especially in this game, he kind of might be. The last game, he seemed more. The last time these two teams squared off, he seemed more concerned about getting in John Wall's face than actually winning the basketball game. So. Maybe that element removed from the equation might be a good thing for the Wizards, but I'm just going to be honest. If you're betting on this game, I would love to hear someone. I mean, maybe you are, Blackjack, so I don't mean to insult you if you are.
No, I am not.
I'd love to hear where anyone thinks they see an advantage in this game. This is the definition of a coin flip 50-50 game, which means I am not interested in it.
Yeah, I'm with you. I mean, you just said it perfectly, Junior. It's a coin flip game. You've got two teams that are just, flat out not very good. I think we thought Houston was better, and maybe they are better at full strength, but they just can't seem to get there and stay there. And a Wizards team that's capable of losing by 25 on any given night. So, no, I'm with you. There's no value here, and I don't really understand anyone who sees it either. Let's keep it rolling. We've got the Atlanta Hawks taking on the New York Knicks in Madison Square Garden here. This has kind of become a little bit of an interesting game because the Hawks are in a little bit of a slide here, Junior, right? They've dropped 3 straight. They've lost 6 of 7, and they've lost against, good teams for the most part. But now the question is, what's the deal with the Knicks, right? Because the Knicks have been playing better of late, and God knows I've taken my shots at the Knicks on this show plenty of times. But if you look at the way they've been playing lately, it's a little harder to do that, right? They've got wins over the Rockets and the Wizards in their last 2. They played Miami tough in 2 games. They beat Portland. I mean, if I'm looking at this game and I'm seeing, the Knicks catching 2 at home, I'm tempted to go New York here, Junior.
Oh, I'm more than tempted. I'm going New York. I said on Saturday's show that I would be in the fading the Hawks business in the second half of the season. I think that not only have some of their players, regressed a little bit since the hot start to the season. I think that the John Collins, I'm not going to call it turmoil, but it's not a coincidence that as soon as John Collins called out Trae Young for not really leading the team properly, they started shopping him. So as long as he's around, if you've got a guy who is for all intents and purposes, the second best player on your team, and he doesn't like the best player on your team, and everyone on the team is kind of the same age, as in they're closer to being college players than not. What's the maturity in the locker room? Who's the veteran voice? Who, you know what I mean? Like for example, people probably thought it was a joke that Vince Carter was hanging around the Hawks the last couple of years, but at least if they had Vince, they'd have a veteran who could say, hey guys, listen, I know maybe you don't like the way this guy does business. We got to come. Now, who did they? I mean, I guess you could say Rajon Rondo, but Rajon Rondo, he could go any way. If he's into it, he could be a leader. But if he's not feeling it, he could be another guy that's contributing to the bad chemistry. So I just say all of that to say that the Hawks are an absolute fade team for me in the second half of the season, at least until they get rid of John Collins. The Knicks are playing a bit better. Thibodeau, for some reason, I don't know if you know this is Blackjack, he's easing his boy Derrick Rose into it. He plays the hell out of everybody else. Mm-hmm. Derrick Rose is only playing like 20 minutes a game. I think he's easing Derrick Rose into it. Derrick Rose gives them something they haven't had in a long time, a playmaker. I feel like I'm trying to sell you on the Knicks, but I'm taking the Knicks plus the points here.
You sold me 60 seconds ago. I'm with you. I'm taking the Knicks plus the 2. I think you're right. This Hawks team is in complete disarray right now. They're a mess. And it really just kind of confuses me, Junior, that they're going on the road and laying points. Like, I don't get it here. I mean, the Knicks haven't played terrible all year, but I mean, this is just an odd spot for them to be favorites. No, I mean, were you surprised by this line when it came out?
Yeah, I actually thought that somebody for the Hawks was probably going to be missing out. I see someone in the chat saying, Trae Young at MSG, that's a no-brainer, I guess. I mean, is that supposed to convince me that the Hawks are going to win all of a sudden because Trae Young is playing in an empty Madison Square Garden? Sure. I just think, like I said before, the Hawks do not have any kind of continuity right now. Not even really sure what they're trying to do. All that momentum they had in the first half or the beginning of the season, the first 2-3 weeks, I don't see any of that right now. The Knicks, we can say a lot of things about the Knicks, but you know what they do? Play defense. They're third in the league in defensive rating. They're going to bring that defense. I don't know if I can say the same about the Hawks. I don't know what the Hawks are bringing other than turmoil.
I like it. I'm going to ride with you, Junior. I'm going to take the Knicks plus the 2. Let's move on to what is going to be the game of the night here, the best game on our slate. The 76ers visiting the white-hot Utah Jazz here. The Sixers at this point are catching 7.5 on the road, Junior. It's a tempting number, but the question is, the big man, is he going to be on the floor? Because Joel Embiid right now listed as questionable for this game against the Jazz and Rudy Gobert down low. What do you think?
Yeah, you'd almost have to take the 7.5 and just hope that Embiid plays, because that number is going to obviously move if he's ruled in. How much it moves remains to be seen, just because of as much as the odds makers have to take Embiid, who by all measuring sticks right now is in the MVP at least conversation. I doubt he's in that conversation, right? So he's shown some improvement. He's shown how valuable he is to that team. So the line is clearly going to move the other way if he gets ruled in. The problem is, as hot as Utah is, how much can odds makers really even move the line? They can't really move it more than a point and a half, or else that line goes to 6 or under. Everyone is slamming Utah, right? So I guess I'm saying in a very long-winded way, I lean Sixers at 7.5 right now, but I would be praying with rosary beads and all that Joel Embiid plays if I did take that bet. So for now, I'm going to wait until that announcement gets made.
Yeah, I mean, listen, we've talked about this. I love betting on the Jazz. I've been on them for a while now. I like messing with this team. They're really exciting. I like them a lot. But I'm going to do exactly what you just said, Junior. I'm taking the 76ers plus the 7.5, and I'm hoping that Embiid is in this game because this, to me, if you can catch that many points with a Sixers team that is very good, as good as anybody in the East, coming to play a big game against Utah, you've got an advantage down low if you have Embiid in this lineup. I'm going to take those 7.5 points every day. Now, if Embiid is ruled out, I'm going to be sitting here holding a ticket that I might as well throw out the window. But I've got to think that he's playing in this game. There's no back-to-back situation. He's, going up against Gobert. Like, you've got to feel like that's, something. The defensive player of the year, maybe it gets you going a little bit. I don't know. I mean, Doc Rivers is there for a reason. Get this guy on the floor. I'm tired of hearing Joel Embiid's not playing because he's got a tummy ache.
Yeah, I mean, in Embiid's defense, though, he's actually do I want to say he's turned a corner? I don't know, but he doesn't really miss as many games as he used to, right? Like, Ben Simmons has played 24 games, Embiid's played 22. So he's actually up there amongst the leaders on his team for games played, which for him is a goddamn miracle. So I gotta say, I'm going to be thinking about this as the show goes on. Definitely by game time, if this number hasn't moved much, I'm going to be on the Sixers. But my heavy lean is towards the Sixers and the points right now. I just think over 2 possessions, you're disrespecting the Sixers a little bit.
Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, the Sixers are an excellent team in their own right, and to lay that kind of juice with them seems like a little bit of a mistake, even though, don't get me wrong, stepping in front of that Utah train is as scary a proposition as there is right now in the NBA.
Yes, I didn't mean to cut you off there. I just think that one of the reasons why I can't make this bet until I have some indication of what's going on with Embiid. I know the first injury report comes out in about 15 minutes here on NBA.com. Embiid can pull Gobert out of the paint, right? Which then gives Simmons room to operate because he can't score from anywhere but in the paint. It also gives driving lanes to their other players. So you really need Embiid in there, not only because he can match up with Gobert, but he can do a lot of things that Gobert has a really hard time coping with.
Yeah, I totally agree. And if Embiid's in this game, which again, I'm taking this play assuming that he is going to play. I think he's going to play. So that's where my head is on this. Thinking Embiid is in this game, I'm going Sixers plus the 7.5. All right, let's move out west. We've got a matchup tonight between the Cleveland Cavaliers and the Golden State Warriors. This would have been a hell of a lot more interesting 2 years ago than it is tonight, but we are where we are. We've got Cleveland heading into this game, and they are catching 8 points here, Junior. Any interest in taking the Cavaliers and 8 points in San Francisco tonight?
Negative. I think that even though it's a different roster, if there has to be no love lost between these two franchises, right? If the Golden State Warriors can kick the Cleveland Cavaliers while they're down, I think they'll as we say up north, they'll catch some Timbs, they'll get Timberland up. That being said, playing 8 points with this Warriors team, bro, I don't know, man. That seems – because here's the thing. The one thing that Cleveland has that can cause Golden State problems is that backcourt. The Golden State backcourt is not great defensively, and I think Colin Sexton is going to look at Steph Curry, even though he's not anywhere close to his level. If you know anything about Colin Sexton, he ain't going to be scared. He showed you that when he took it to the Brooklyn Nets those back-to-back nights when they first got together. And I think he's going to come at Steph Curry's neck today. So I'm not really sure I want to be laying this many points, even though it's a horrible spot for the Cavs. Last game of a 5-game a Western Conference road swing. Those spots tend to be pretty bad for the road team. So I don't know. I have to think about it. I'd probably be more interested in like a first half, first quarter. I just haven't really had a chance to crunch those numbers yet.
Yeah, I'm with you as far as the side goes here. There's no way I'm taking Cleveland. There's no way I'm laying 8 with Golden State either. I don't trust them. But I do like the total here, Junior. We're getting 226.5. I'm going over here. I mean, as you mentioned, I think that Colin Sexton in particular is going to be able to really go off tonight. I think the fact that this is the last game of a long road trip means maybe the defensive intensity takes a notch down tonight. For a Warriors game, 226.5 is a fairly reasonable total. I'm going to go over and say these two teams can get there.
Like I said, it's funny. I rarely give total looks on this show. And that's for one very simple reason. I spend a lot of time trying to crunch those numbers leading up to game time because I'm just not confident in my total bets. So for now, I don't have a look on the total.
All right, well, that's where I'm at on this one. Let's keep it rolling here. We've got another interesting matchup out west tonight. The Miami Heat visiting the Los Angeles Clippers in this one. Junior, this line is now at the Clippers -3. It opened at Clippers -5.5, all the way down to 3. What do you think of that line movement this early in the day?
So am I supposed to say that sharp money is am I supposed to say sharp money is on Miami? Because if it is, good for that sharp money. My money won't be on the Heat. I'm taking the Clippers -3. I think this is the right number if you like the Clippers, 3 or below. Are the LA Clippers one possession better than the Miami Heat with Kawhi Leonard in the lineup? Yes. If the Miami Heat were all the way right, then maybe I might consider, taking the points. But if you just pay, here's one of these things that I think is underrated by a lot of people that cap games. It's the quality of their wins.
Yes.
Miami has no quality wins. They don't beat anybody. They only beat really shitty teams. Look at their last 4 wins. Houston, Knicks, Wizards, Kings. And then they lost 6 in a row before that. So, no. Give me the Clippers all day. Kawhi Leonard in the game. He's going to feast on this Miami team, which is maybe one of the worst secrets in the league. They're like the 6th worst offensive team in the NBA. They can't score. So, and in case you didn't know, the best offensive team in the NBA right now is the Los Angeles Clippers. Please give me them by 1 possession. I will take that all day.
Junior, we're riding the same train today, brother, because I could not agree with you more. The biggest point that I would make about this game is what you just said about who Miami has beat. People going on, well, they've won, 4 out of 5. Yeah, they've beat the Wizards. They barely beat the Knicks twice. The Rockets. Then they go into Utah for kind of what we've talked about in this on the show is kind of like a litmus test game. All right, let's see where you're at. And you got your ass handed to you by the Jazz. Okay, I mean you lose that game by 18 points. So there's nothing here to indicate that this Miami team is, as you said, within 1 possession of the Los Angeles Clippers. I'm sorry. This line to me is crazy. And it feels like what you're saying, Junior, that, you'll get sharp money that just says, oh, too many points at Miami. Look, they're playing better. Yeah, maybe they're playing better, but there was nowhere to go but up. They were a mess. They barely could put 8 guys on the basketball court to play games for a while, and now they're finally getting guys back. But I mean, to go with Miami in this spot against a team like the Clippers just seems downright foolish. I'm with you. I'm on the Clippers here. I mean, right? There's nothing. I mean, there can't be anything we're missing here, right?
Well, people in the chat are saying Kawhi Leonard is not playing in this game. I haven't seen that yet. Where is that official? Have you seen that somewhere?
No, I have not. He was out yesterday, but
and he wasn't injured for that. He has no injury that I know of, so I'm not exactly sure why he would sit out yesterday with, for what seems like rest to not play today. Again, maybe people in the chat know something I don't. The first official NBA injury report comes out in 9 minutes. Maybe we'll get an update then. But as far as I know, he's playing, and I'm on the Clippers. I already made the bet anyway, so it's already locked in.
Yeah, I mean, I'm with you. First of all, I haven't seen anything saying that he will be out on Monday. He sat out yesterday. They're saying a leg contusion. I mean, okay, it feels like a rest spot for Kawhi. But let me just hypothetically put this out to you, Junior. If Kawhi Leonard's not on the floor, does it change where your thinking is here in terms of would you change your bet?
No, I would be way less confident in making this bet, but I wouldn't take the Heat because, again, I've watched enough Heat games to know that this specific spot is just not a good spot for them. They haven't shown any kind of continuity. Here's the thing with the Heat, and this is what I don't like about their team right now. Their offense seems super one-dimensional to me. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I get it. They got a lot of guys that can take and make threes, but they're not making them at a high percentage. Not like they were last year. And I feel like the Raptors kind of had the same problem at the beginning of the season, but they started to figure it out slowly but surely. Until these guys get some kind of continuity. Like last year, the Heat were second in the NBA behind Utah in three-point percentage. This season, they are 20th. That's going to make a massive difference to how your offense performs because, again, they have no low post scorers. Who even on that team other than like Goran Dragic even really goes to the basket? I mean, obviously Jimmy Butler does too, but he doesn't even look all the way right himself. I don't know. Nothing about this Heat team tells me that they're a bet on team. I would still take the Clippers even if I know Kawhi Leonard's out.
I'm with you. That's where I'm at as well. I would take the Clippers. I am on them at this point at the -3 number, and we'll hope that we get Kawhi. All right, let's go to our final game of the night here. The Brooklyn Nets, Junior's Brooklyn Nets, taking on the Sacramento Kings. And, Luke Walton, Jr. would be casting his vote for Luke Walton to be Coach of the Year. I know he would if he had a vote. The Nets laying 4 here, Junior. Are you getting more comfortable with your Brooklyn Nets off 2 wins here?
Yeah, so I haven't made a Nets bet in about, I think, 10 days, almost 2 weeks probably. I'm gonna break that today. I'm taking the Nets, and the thing that pushed me over the edge is De'Aaron Fox looks like he's probably going to be out. Without De'Aaron Fox, I'm way less scared of the Kings. With De'Aaron Fox, I don't think I would lay the points with Brooklyn because nobody on their team can stop him. Without De'Aaron Fox, I think the Kings are a bit of a mess, and this Brooklyn team really needs to start establishing some kind of well, listen, I don't even want to say they need to start establishing something because their record with their big three is actually a winning record. It's just not spreads. That's really what the problem is, right? So I'm talking from a gambler's perspective. But these guys need to start establishing something, some kind of continuity, some kind of identity. Because if they lose today, it ain't going to get much easier when you go to Phoenix on Tuesday, the Lakers on Thursday, the Clippers on Sunday. That's their next 3 games after Sacramento. So they really, really need to take care of business or else it could start getting ugly on this road trip.
Now, Junior, I'm not sure if you're aware of this, but Kevin Durant is out for this game.
Yeah, no, I know he's out.
Okay.
But De'Aaron Fox was really the key for me. Like I said, without him, the Sacramento team is a bit of a mess. And I think that even though I think, the Durant and Kyrie coming to an agreement thing is a bit overblown because if I'm Steve Nash, I'm like, hey, yo, y'all decided who's the point guard? What about me? Well, I don't get a say. I thought that was super weird.
Incredibly weird. And also, if we're just talking about the bodies of work of these players, shouldn't it be the other way around?
Exactly. But again, we'll just see. We'll see how it goes. People in the chat are saying Fox is playing. Maybe he is, and my information is wrong. But from what I see, he's questionable. with a knee problem. We'll see. Hopefully he doesn't play, though.
Listen, we've talked about the Utah Jazz being a train that you don't want to step in front of in terms of gambling this season. The biggest, scariest, fastest locomotive on the tracks is the Brooklyn Nets overtrain. I mean, it just hits no matter what you throw in front of it. Now we're putting up a number that started out around 240. It's now at 242, which is what I got it at. I'm going over here. Listen, the Kings don't play very much defense to begin with. The Nets play no defense themselves. If De'Aaron Fox is in the game, the Kings do like to run and play at a faster pace. I think this game is cruising towards 250 points without really batting an eye. I like the over here, Junior. You got any thoughts on the total?
Definitely with you on that over. I mean, the Brooklyn over train, like the books can't even think of a number to come up with that'll keep them in line. But yeah, no, that seems to be cashing blindly. I'll tell you what, if De'Aaron Fox does get ruled in, I'll be all over that over for sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for me, that's kind of the deciding factor. If Fox is in this game, you love it. Without him, I still like it. I'm still on it at the 242 number. But what you just said a minute ago, Junior, at this point, the crazier the number looks, the more confident in the over I am with this team. I mean, they could put 265 on the board, and I'm playing it over.
Yeah, no, I hear you. Especially if Kevin Durant's in the game. Like if Kevin Durant's in the game, it's these guys. They look special offensively. Their defense is a joke. I saw an article talking about DeAndre Jordan is the key to their defense. Wait, what year is this? 2013? What the fuck are you talking about, DeAndre
Jordan is the key.
Are you serious right now? Anyways, they need to figure it out because if DeAndre Jordan is the answer, I'm not taking that test.
Yeah. Great way to put it, Junior. All right. For those missing our guy, Jay Money, I'm going to borrow a line from him. Junior, break it off with your plays, my guy.
Yeah, a bit of a short card today. I got Knicks +2 and the Clippers -3. And, of course, the Nets laying the points -4.
Somehow I've wound up with 5 plays with this slate we have here. That's awesome. I've got the Knicks +2, the Sixers +7.5, Clippers -3, over 242 with Brooklyn and Sacramento, and over 226.5 Cleveland and Golden State. I feel like I'm going to regret going anywhere near Cleveland and Golden State in this game. Now I have to pay attention to it.
Yeah, I mean, it's here's my problem with Cleveland Golden State. I can't even believe I'm about to say this, but without Andre Drummond and Larry Nance Jr., remember there was a point where we were like, Cleveland's like a top 5 defense. Yeah. Ever since those two went out, and those two, if you go and look right now, go on, basketballreference.com is a good place, or even NBA.com. Their advanced stats are pretty good these days. You'll see that Larry Nance Jr. and Andre Drummond are literally top 10 defenders in the NBA. So once those two went out, the defense fell off of not even a cliff, but a goddamn precipice. I don't even know what to call it, but it's nowhere to be seen, and that's what worries me about taking points with Cleveland. I just can't lay the points with Golden State. On the flip side, even though I'm looking at Blackjack, have you seen this? This line is like 9.5 right now. 9.5. I might be interested in a little Cavaliers.
I mean, what is going on there? Do we have any sort of confirmations on anything?
I don't know. We got some homework to do. There's still a lot of time before games. For those of you that sometimes complain I don't make enough plays on the show, it's goddamn 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Calm down.
Yeah, come on.
I'll be making plays all day.
All right, guys. That's going to do it for today. Junior, thank you. You've been lovely, as always. Everybody.
Hey, Money, we miss you, bro. Hopefully y'all can figure out that snow down there in Texas and get the power back up.
We got to get Jay back hopefully tomorrow. Everybody, thanks for watching. Make sure you visit sbrpicks.com/NBA for all of our NBA action. We're out of here. We'll see you tomorrow.